Do you want to know how much your mortgage payment should be and if now is a good time to buy in general? Real estate is a great long-term investment for everyone because it lets you stabilize one of your biggest expenses and one of your most basic needs. My mortgage advice first-time buyer is not to worry about spending too much or buying at the wrong time. Everyone has to make this buying decision on their own because their finances are personal and different for everyone. What may be a good time for one person may not be a good time for another person. Now that we have that out of the way, let's speak about when the best time to purchase a home is, how much your monthly mortgage payment ought to be, and some of the other crucial information you need to have. Hello everyone, welcome to Success Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about mortgage advice, first-time buyer things to do. If you're new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. Financial experts say that it's not about timing the market, especially when it comes to real estate. Instead, it's about time in the market. That is a really valid point. If you intend to purchase a home and make it your primary residence for at least 7 to 10 years, you should have no problems with the real estate market. Historically, there has been an upward trend in property prices. It is possible that some years it may go down, but generally speaking, if you purchase a property now, its value will be higher 10 or 20 years from now, as long as it remains in excellent condition everywhere in the United States. Check to see that your home costs do not consume a disproportionate amount of your income. When it comes to housing expenses, you shouldn't spend more than 28% of your gross income at any one time. When I speak about mortgage payments, I'm referring to the whole amount that goes toward the mortgage each month. When I say principal, interests, taxes, insurance, and mortgage insurance, I'm referring to these 4 things. I'm talking about mortgage insurance as well, if you're required to have it and have to pay for it. The vast majority of finance experts recommend that you do not spend more than 28% of your salary on housing. This percentage takes into account both the HOA fees and the overall monthly cost of owning that house. How much am I taking home? And how much of that should I spend on a place to live? I like to say somewhere between 25% and 35%. Dave Ramsey has a rule that you should only spend 25% of your take-home pay. When he says 25%, he means 25% on a 15-year mortgage. So you will pay off your mortgage in 15 years if you only spend 25% of what you earn. I think that's a bit too low for most Americans. So I'd say 25 to 35% of your take-home pay. This is kind of a mix of the two numbers because the 28% is off your gross pay before any deductions, but I think you'll be fine if it's between 25 and 35% of your take-home pay. If you currently owe money for other things, you may want to exercise extra caution with your finances. It's possible that you'll need to manage your finances with even more caution if your work isn't extremely secure. You don't want to be house poor, which implies that your income isn't adequate to support your other requirements, in addition to paying the mortgage or rent on your home. Food, childcare, health insurance, and all of the other expenses that come along with life, such as insurance and food, are all necessary expenditures. You don't want to put so much money into your home that you're unable to afford other things, like investing your money. Investing your money in order to save for the future is a goal of yours. You want to have money to invest for future possibilities because sometimes we live from check to check, paying all of our bills, and there's little room for mistakes. However, you want to have money to invest because you want to have future prospects. Therefore, if you have the opportunity to invest some money in a company or purchase a house to use as a rental, you should take advantage of such opportunities. If you don't have enough money and have too much debt, you can't take advantage of any extra opportunities because everything you make goes toward paying your bills. Since you spend everything you earn, you should be very careful about where you live. Your budget for housing will give you room to other things you want to do in your life. Before we continue on mortgage advice, first-time buyer, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's look at how to put all of these numbers together. Let's take a person who makes $6,000 per month or $72,000 per year as an example. 28% of that person's total gross pay would be $1,680. That's the most they should pay on their mortgage payment all at once. If they pay less than that, it's fine. In my example, the range is 25 to 35. And let's say that after taxes, they bring home $4,500 of that $6,000. If they paid a 25% tax, they wouldn't spend more than $1,375 on their mortgage. This isn't an exact number, but it's close. In the Dave Ramsey example, they wouldn't spend more than $1,125. Now, some of you may be surprised by this and say, that's too little, no one can do that. But again, if you spend too much of your income on housing, you won't have enough money to do the other things you want to do. Money is very personal. You might have a high monthly income and want to spend a little more on housing, but you don't have any other debt. To decide if you want to do this, you should talk to a financial planner and ask, if I spend more than what's recommended on housing, will I still be able to achieve my other financial goals? Also ask if the financial planner has some mortgage advice first-time buyer. You want to make sure your finances aren't overburdened, so they'll look at your debt, insurance, investments, and all of those things and say, okay, you could push a little bit higher because you have everything else in place or you have enough money coming into your 401k Roth IRA and other areas that you can do more than that. But you should think about that very carefully instead of just saying that. Another important thing, and this is where I'll end, is that when people are considered broke, they spend first, like they spend, and then they save and invest what's left, and often there's nothing left. Rich people think in a different way. First, they'll save and invest, and then they'll spend what's left. If your basic needs are met, and then you're left and you say, okay, I have a 20% for housing, I have 25% for housing. And then you have to be creative and say, okay, where can I live where I am safe? Where can I live where I have maybe a good school system? Whatever your desires are, where can I live on that budget that's going to work for me? We've reached the end of another video and thank you for watching. I hope you have learned mortgage advice first-time buyer. If you like this video, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Thank you and goodbye.